at the house, I can easily go inside if I want to. Right, and just get home. So, probably thinking, what am I doing? To be honest with you, at first I didn't know. Then, I thought I would give myself a challenge. So, tonight, as it is, it's around 9 or something like that. It was 40 degrees, now it's about 38. It's gonna get down to 35, which is pretty cold. And I got this raging fire right next to me to my left. I got my tarp that I'm gonna be sleeping in tonight. And I'll let you know how it works out in the morning. But for my sleeping system, I do not have a pad, so the ground doesn't soak all my warmth out from my body. I don't have a pad, but what I do have a 10 degree sleeping bag, and this guy is thick. It's a mummy bag. If you're claustrophobic, it probably won't do you any good. You might want to get a quilt. It's 35 tonight, the lowest. And I also have in the inside of it a swagman roll. For those that don't know, it acts as a underquilt, a poncho, a summer sleeping bag, and a liner. So, and it is warm. I've survived on a bed of leaves twice, and like high 40s, 50s, chilly night. One time in the mountains, and low 30s on just a bed of leaves and a fire. The fire was a lot closer than this one is, but comparing these two together, I'll let you know if it works. Has a little hoodie right there. So I have that paired on the inside, acting as a liner, because I don't have anything to separate my body from the cold ground, which the ground will just draw all that heat that my body is creating. Quick tip, if you got any kind of electronics, AA batteries, you might want to put them in a dry bag, obviously, so they don't get wet. But whenever the temperatures are cold, what you want to do is you want to stick this in the bottom of your sleeping bag where your feet go, and your body heat should keep the batteries at a good temperature so they don't die out, because the cold does drain your battery life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep in this waffle top, the base layer, and top and bottoms, and then this waffle top. Keep this cotton beanie on. I'm going to take my socks off, and I'll let you know how I feel in the morning, or if I wake up early because I'm uncomfortable. I'll talk about it. Yeah, I had to run in real quick to plug in my portable charger because, like I said, the cold, it just drains the battery life. So I had to charge that a little bit up. Now I got 3 bars. And your phone's, it's a lithium battery, so it can withstand the cold a bit more, but at the same time, it's it's just safe to put it somewhere where it'll keep it warm. It's not gonna hurt it. Take extra precautions. So also make some coffee when I was inside, so I'm nice and warm. Restoke the fire. I'm about to get in this bag. I didn't bring a pillow, but the crazy thing about this is really thick sleeping bag is where your head goes in right here, like the mummy stuff. You can just like fold it into itself 2 or 3 times and just lay on it like that for a cushion. It works pretty good. Yeah, I feel warm. My feet are getting warm with that liner. Done it like twice, and this liner I've done it once, and both times it's made a bed of leaves, and I've never conjoined them together. So if they done okay with me insulating myself with some leaves barely off of the cold ground, and right now I'm touching the ground, it's not even that cold in here because that fire, it's been on since 3. So it's just been collecting heat this whole time, and I'm about 5 feet away from my bed. I'm about 5-6 feet away, like steps, regular steps, maybe, yeah, like 5. And then the tarp, the configuration that I made, there's only a little bit of breathing, like just in case smoke came in here. I want some ventilation so I don't die. So there's a little bit of airflow at the top of my head, and the bottom is closed a little bit more than it is on top, and then the back is completely closed. I even put bricks in the back too, because I don't want no dogs or whatever, stray dogs coming over here and mess with me. And also too, I don't want to feel the cold air. So like I said, this little opening up here in the front, that heat, the ground is not that cold, and I'm a good ways away from it, but it is a big fire. When it dies out, that's when the true test comes in, and I'm ready for it. Like, I'm not burned at all. I mean, I got layers. I just stripped layers. Like I said, I got this waffle top, this base layer set, the green bottoms and the green top, and on top of that waffle top, a beanie. If I do get cold, then I can add like socks, fresh pair of wool socks. I could add an insulation layer. I took my wind layer off. I'm not gonna add that. I got fleece pants that I can also add instead of putting back on my nylon pants. So I'm set. I know what I have would work. That true test is just really letting that die out, not stoking it up, and just seeing if I can ride out the whole night so I can bring this setup comfortably into a situation where I know I'm going into that situation, if that makes sense. When I did the bed of leaves with the swagman roll, I wanted to try it out, and I was not prepared. Yeah, actually twice it was with this. Once was with this sleeping bag. So now me combining both of them together, seeing how well it does, from the 30, mid 30s, it's gonna get to 35, degrees, so mid-30s. If it does pretty good, I might take it on some trips until it gets into like the 20s and stuff, and by then I'll probably have a whole new system. So I don't have a pad. I need to get one. I can use leaves to make me a bed. I can use pine boughs to make a bed, but sometimes those skills are good. Those skills are good to learn, to test yourself and build that up, and you'll never stop learning. You'll always find that when you do it the fourth, fifth time, sixth time, that there's something that you could have done better, or a process that you could have made smoother. So you can always learn and learn something new as you go. But I like to learn the basics of something, and then whenever I want like a new challenge, or if I want to relax and enjoy myself, or just test gear out, a sleeping pad, like the comforts don't really hurt that much to do other things that I would like to do than just surviving all the time off the land. Hopefully this goes well and I don't freeze to death. I don't have to get up to pee, because it is cold. I'm already feeling it. Upper body is a little cold. Like you can see my breath. It's only 35. I'm gonna bundle up like a burrito, double layer burrito, and hopefully I don't get too hot and sweat. That'll be bad. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the morning. You know what? It wasn't that bad. It is currently 33 degrees. I can say one thing about it. The swagman roll. If I didn't have this, it would have been brutal. At one point, I was curled up in a ball, and the bottom of the swagman roll got real cold. I stretched out. And it took me a while to get warm again, but I got warm eventually. So if I had some wool socks on, I don't think that would be a problem. I also added my insulation layer around 2 o'clock. That fire died out. Like, it got rough. Tarp on frost. Holy crap. That's how cold it is. before I fully awake and get ready to get out of here and make another fire to warm up, I'm gonna try to capture as much body heat as I can, and then I'll get ready. It's like I'm being born again. It wasn't the end of the world. And like I said, I've had worse nights than what I had tonight or last night. And what really sold it was this swagman roll. By itself, this sucks. But paired with something that traps heat, it did pretty good. And again, I could have added more layers than just throwing on the mid layer. I feel like if I were to throw on some fleece pants, I would have gotten hot. The nylon pants, I would have been okay. And even one layer of socks, I would have been warm. But the worst part about this experience would be the padding. If you don't have a pad, your hips are gonna hurt, your back's gonna hurt, your arms may hurt if you lay on them. My wrist was hurting at one point. With this kind of sleeping, being uncomfortable, you lay down, you sleep like real hard for about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 2, and then you wake up because some part of the body's hurting. You roll over, get situated, go back to sleep for another 30 minutes to an hour, and then your body starts to hurt again. You resituate yourself again. So yeah, other than that, being uncomfortable, the warmth, I'd give it a solid 7. It wasn't too bad. Like I said, I've had worse experiences than this one. It was actually pretty comfortable. As long as I stayed inside of this and had it covered in my head. This sleeping bag is from Walmart. It's the Ozark Trail. It doesn't have the tag anymore, so I forgot the loft, what kind of materials on the inside. I'd feel like it would be like a cotton or some synthetic or something, I don't know. I went to Walmart recently and I've seen these bags in there for, I think the price is 38 bucks, so 40 bucks. And it's a 10-degree sleeping bag. The only downside is how thick it is. The material is real thick and it's hard to pack in your bag. I lost the casing, and even when you get it real tight and snug, it's forming a ball. So like, as little as this is, right, it's a block, that is one form. I can't do nothing for me to, you know, twist it, bend it, anything like that. It stays like that. So same thing with this dry bags. Like, it has a little bit of wiggle room, right? But if I let all that air out and I'll form it down to a block, there's just a little give, right? Same thing with the sleeping bag. If I were to cram it into a stuff sack or even a dry bag, which I have one, 30-liter one, and it fits in there barely. If I were to cram it in that and try to fit it into my backpack, it would be like playing Tetris. There's no room for me to, there's no give, right? What I'll usually do is I'll just take the bag itself and stuff it in a dry bag that I have. For summer, I do it with this one so I don't get it wet. You stuff it in the dry bag and you don't let all the air out so it doesn't form a block. It just stays in there nice and loose, compact, right? It's just small, but I can still push it and mold it and it'll give because of not how tight I have it. The tighter you have, the more it's gonna create, get rid of that dead airspace, and it's gonna create a form. And then that form can only move so much. So again, if I go and start stacking stuff inside my bag now with this big thick one, it'll be like stacking blocks. And so you're giving up inside your pack, you're giving up space. You're losing space in a sense. Because it'll be a block and then something like this that lands the wrong way, and if you don't have it perfectly situated where it takes up no space, you'll have like a little space like that. Because it doesn't give, that's dead airspace that could be filled. With this big thick one, right, it's 10 degrees, so there's pros and cons. Like, yeah, I was fine. Like I said, the only thing that I had trouble with was comfortability. An easy fix is a pad. 35 bucks, you get the block ones that unfold, and that'll get you through for a situation like this. Or you can go with the blow up ones, a more expensive, luxurious one. The downside to that is it popping, but like, again, pros and cons to everything. The cons with this bag is the bulkiness, the amount of space that you lose carrying this, how heavy it is. It is surprisingly heavy. Putting this in my pack, and then my tarp is already heavy. But the pros and cons with my tarp that outweighs carrying this would be, yeah, can I downsize to a smaller tarp? Yeah, I could get a poncho and I could have that little space right there, 10 by 10 or whatever. It'll be lighter than carrying this thicker tarp. And I could probably make the same formation, but the durability of that tarp outweighs this. In these conditions, I could, again, make a bed of leaves. I could get pine boughs, get an insulated layer. I could arrange it to where I have a fire going all night. I could move about 1 step off of the fire rather than about 5 steps or so. So there's other things that I could do to stay warm with that, and choosing to have that in my kit rather than having this big piece of gear in my kit. I could give up, could go inside, you know, just give up, go back to sleep in my warm bed, right? But where heat is. But choosing to carry this out here and seeing if it's even worth continuing to carry for a wintertime kit, that's my point that I'm making. That's the point that I'm trying to get, is that you can't, like, you don't want to be the guy or the girl that looks at something and says, oh, it's 10 degrees, right? This would be perfect for winter camping. And then carry this, and now you're carrying extra weight. You know what I'm saying? And then this is all you're using. You got your little sleeping pad. Yeah, it'll work. Yeah, you'll be warm. Yeah, you probably don't need a fire. But think about the other things that you would have to probably take out of your kit just to carry this, or things that you won't be able to carry with you because you're carrying this. And think of the things that if you could find a different system that does the same thing, takes up less space, less bulkiness. I can achieve the same warmth with a 40-degree sleeping bag and a swagman roll in layers. You don't need a 10-degree sleeping bag. Below freezing, that's where it probably shines. And maybe having this in like your truck, right, as emergency gear. I think this would be a great tool to have. Just balled up, throw it in a little war box or something, right, or survival box. Just have it in the back with your jumper cables and all that. And worst case scenario, if you got to find yourself being stranded, instead of sleeping inside of an ice box that no longer has gas to turn on, having a source of heat inside your vehicle, you can pull this thing out, pull out a little tarp, make a little fire until rescue comes, you know, because if you don't rescue yourself, no one is going to come for you. And if they are coming for you, are you going to sit there and just freeze to death and wait for somebody to come and do all the work for you? Or would you at least want to grab and get inside this and have some form of shelter over your head outside of your vehicle, because all that heat is getting drained from your body if you're going to be inside that vehicle. That vehicle is not, if it's not turned on, it's not giving warmth. The cool thing about this is how multifunctional it is. And if anything, I could just make a bedding, or have something to sit on, like a bed of leaves or pine boughs, and just have this like this, and just sit like this, right? Or have a candle underneath, right? Or for heat, maybe 2-3 candles if I can't make a fire, or if I don't have a sleeping system. It would suck, but I could still get, you know, through the night. In the mountains, I would wake up to get this fire started, and then the mountains would get down to high 20s, mid 20s in the mornings, and I would wake up like this, and I would get a fire situated, and I didn't have proper clothing on, like layers. How I am layered now. That's when I started like getting into it real serious. But like right now, I already feel warm, and I'm about 2 feet off of that fire, and I feel warm. This is that if you're gonna wear like a poncho, you got buckles in the front, something like that. That's for more room to access, like if you're gonna do something. And you got 2 in the front as well, to buckle in the back. Tie it down. I mean, you still have access, you can still do things. I mean, it's not crazy, like, I'm not limited crazy, you know, but you can feel a little resistance. But it holds more heat like this. Also in the front as well, you have a little spot to like put gloves or whatever. Right, phone, tinder to make a fire. Now this swagman roll, I did get it off of Amazon, and I believe it was like 60 bucks or something, maybe 70, something like that. And I could tell you that it's worth the money. It really is. Since I bought it, I've used it for I think I bought it last year, so I almost had it for 1.5 years. No, 2 years going on this year. Yeah. So I've used it almost every single outdoor activity that I went on. I've brought it or used it, And for my situation and others that don't have outdoor experience or don't do outdoor activities, and you're trying to get into it, or you do outdoor activities but you don't really know what to do when it comes to survival, I would say this swagman roll is probably your best bet. If you're gonna like carry a pack with you, this is probably something you should carry inside your pack. A swagman roll. I'm not getting any money from saying it. I'm not even sponsored by anybody. I'm just saying it because I can tell you from my experience with this bag. I've slept in extreme conditions, mid-30s in the mountains on a bed of leaves. I did have a fire, but this got me through. So I stand by this piece of gear. If you know what you're doing, with just this alone, you can survive the night. I've even slept in this on a lake, on the edge of a lake, and it was raining hard, had thunderstorms coming in, very windy. I had that tarp behind me, staked out on the sides, one piece tied around a tree, and again a bed of leaves on the bottom that were kind of wet because it was raining, and we were in hammocks first, but the leaves were kind of wet, kind of damp. Still made a bed out of them, zipped this up into my sleeping bag, got inside of that, and it was probably 40s, maybe mid 40s. But the wind and being on the lake when you're close to water is already going to be cold. So being mid 40s and gusts of wind and being in this with no fire, I'm telling you, this gear right here, the swagman roll, this is the piece of gear that I would recommend if you're going to get anything and you're looking into getting into outdoor activities, camping, stuff like that. This gear right here is probably the top 10 pieces of equipment that you should buy first. Again, that sleeping bag, the 10-degree sleeping bag, again, weigh your pros and cons, as in worst case scenario, I have nothing, find myself stranded, I can hop in that and I'll be okay. Until next time, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.